any normal expectations. Things always go as unplanned. So always be having a bucket of patience just ready to be poured on you, right? In Mina, pray Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and Fajr of Yom Al-Arafah. You pray these normal times, but you shorten them. Okay, so Zuhr will be two at Zuhr time, Asr will be two at Asr time, and so forth like this. Maghrib three, Maghrib is never shortened, and Fajr you'll pray the next day. So the ninth day is where you really are going to do the Hajj because Prophet said this is al Hajj Arafah. Simple Arabic. Hajj is Arafah, the essence of Hajj. Yes, thank you so much. So Hajj is Arafah. After Fajr, you head to Arafah and you stand there, you set up your camp. Now, the tents I have to mention in Mina are a bit more comfortable. Each one of you has an area where it's padded and comes into a couch. You have you're lucky, you get like a little storage area on top so you can put your bags and everything like that. They give you stuff. The government gives you a bag that has tasbih, has a fan. It has a few items that may be useful to you that you may have already gotten, but they'll just give you an additional as a gift from them. So during this time, you are going to be with maybe, I want to say 50 people in a one section of the tent. And there's many sections you can see across. So just know it's a bit more comfortable. But when you get to Arafah, the tents are bigger, less comfort, a little bit less comfort. And you'll be basically with a group of 150 people all in one tent. Okay. So everybody's fighting for a space. So don't get into that. Just get wherever you are, just settle your stuff, not thinking this is my spot. I'm gonna probably go outside, get away from the people. You'll be surprised. There are people there that may not be as spiritually sound as you expect. People will just be sometimes bored watching games or something like that. Some people gossiping, backbiting. You know, just Allah knows who's here, who's not. But this is a way Shaitan is trying to take away our Arafah. Don't let that happen, okay? So after Fajr, you head to the Arafah, stand in Wukuf from Dhuhr to Maghrib. The difference here is you combine Dhuhr and Asr and you shorten them. So Zuhr will be two and Asr will be two, and they'll be prayed at the time of Zuhr. The reason that happened was because the Prophet ﷺ wanted to emphasize on something more important than prayer at that time, which is dua. Dua is the most important thing on that day. So he gave you a stretch of time from the time of Zuhr all the way till Maghrib for you to just make dua. So build up to that. If you're not used to doing dua like that, work your way up there from now, right? You're like, oh, most I could probably make is 30 minutes, fine. But take a break, come back to dua, right? And your break is just to re-energize you for more dua, right? So you plan your day according to that because everything you've wanted in life, everything you've needed, all the problems or the worries, the stresses. Here's the day to be glad. Here's the day where the slaves of Allah will be the most closest to Him, and He will brag to the angels about you, saying, "Why have my slaves come here today?" And the angels will say to ask you. Yeah, exactly. Write a list of du'as that you want. And as the Shaykh said, the best dua is zikr, la ilaha illallah, wahdahu la sharika lahu, mulku wa lahu al-hamdu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir.
Sheikh, I have a question.
Yes.
These all prayers are individually done, right? No, no.
There's Jama'ah. There's Jama'ah. Yes. Yeah, there will be Jama'ah in your tent. Every tent will have a little, group. You'll pray in Jama'ah. Yeah. And in Arafah, there's even a khutbah. The khutbah to Arafah is the khutbah of Arafah, where a designated imam there will be given the duty to address the people. Short khutbah, but powerful usually. And
So you don't have to have been the Masjid Nimra for that, or that.
no, so Masjid Namira is something that is not even wajib or anything like that. So it is if people go there, it's fine. But the khutbah, every tent has a khutbah, yeah, and they actually recommend you stay in your tent because what happens when people try to go there, they get lost, and if you get lost, it take you hours to get back. So essentially, you don't want to miss out your Arafah by being anxious about where you are. It has happened to people, many people. So if you want to leave, you can leave within the quarters of your area. So people usually are outside, maybe a few blocks back and forth, left or right, and then that way you know exactly how they return. That's fine, just so you can get that privacy. And you may want to do that if people start talking too much. You may want to just say, you know what, I'm going to go out. The Prophet ﷺ would raise his hand the whole time, from that time till the Maghrib time, just making dua to Allah. That's how dedicated he was. And he would be in the sun also. But again, we recommend you to stay safe, stay hydrated. There's a lot of food there, almost too much food. And so you got to limit yourself. You know, they give you ice cream and fruits and everything, just unlimited. They keep giving it to you. Don't be a fool. Okay, take what you need because that will affect your iman. If you eat too much, some people I've seen got stomach aches, and so they're not able to worship because they ate too much ice cream or drank too much soda. So keep that in mind. I know you guys are all grown up, so I don't need to advise you with that, but I did see it happen, so I just want to relay that advice, inshallah. So after Maghrib, the
Hydration powder, the protein bars, the original.
yeah, yes, the what is it called? The IV hydration, right? It's like a powder you put it in the water. Perhaps you want to do that, or coconut water, whatever.
And is it okay to cover your head?
No, no, it's not okay. Thank you for bringing that up. It's absolutely not okay to cover your head during ihram, right? Ears, head. Now, what if someone has an excuse? Old man, very cold. If he doesn't cover his head, he may get sick. You can do that, but then you'll pay the fidya. Now, the fidya is broken up into three categories. There is fasting 3 days in Mecca, then seven when you return, or there is the feeding of six people, or there is the slaughtering of a sheep. The easiest one I would recommend to anyone is feeding six people. How do you do that? You can just go to Al-Baik, and whatever meal you get for yourself, you get it for six people. Beggars are everywhere, so you can just go ahead and give them out, preferably in the vicinity, in the or Mecca before you leave.
Be ready to be in that line for some hours.
Yeah, yeah. There's what happens is when you go for six people, 100 people come because there's that many beggars here. But it's yes, exactly.
And how about using the umbrella during the day of Arafah?
Umbrella is fine because umbrella is not attached to your head. It's not, something connected. So umbrella is sometimes even recommended because of the heat, but not covering of the head. This is different for women. I'm talking about for the men. So after Maghrib time, they'll open the gates from the outside because even if you wanted to leave, you'd have to walk. You couldn't do it with the bus, right? But in Arafah, after Maghrib, is the time they begin to move the buses. But you may not go at Maghrib. You may go 10, 11 p.m. Just be ready. Just hang tight. Just continue making zikr because buses are just all going to Muzdalifah. Now, when you get to Muzdalifah, it's going to be a bit chaotic. The bus will drop you off wherever your section is. So the American section may be miles or maybe a mile or so. I don't know. It's a big portion. You're just going to be dropped off somewhere. Okay. So you coordinate with your group. Okay, what are we doing? When are we meeting? Your guide will try to make it as easy as possible, but be prepared to really be on your own at that point if it gets haywire, right? Sometimes you get on the bus, the guy doesn't get on the bus. He's on the next bus. All of that will happen. So you get to Muzdalifah, and I always joke. I say Mina is like 3 stars, Arafah is like 2 stars, and Muzdalifah is millions of stars, right? Because there's no there's no tent or anything like that. It's just you in the sky, right? And they usually gift you with a mat that you can use. And what they've done actually last year, they laid out carpets all over Muzdalifah. And because the only thing on the bottom is rocks and there's no like structure, just maybe bathrooms, there are bathrooms, but all rocks. So, and when you get there, if that was your first time, you'd be shocked because everybody just laying on the floor. There's no space anywhere. I'm talking women, men, everybody, kids, just chaotic, right? So you're like, oh my God, what is this? And you're so tired, just fit in somewhere, wherever you could fit in, coordinate with your guy to meet in the morning in this place and let the night go by. Okay. It's probably one of the hardest nights. Okay. Now, the Prophet ﷺ, did give concession. By the way, when you get there, don't forget you have to bring Maghrib and Isha. Maghrib 3, Isha combined, but not short.
I was gonna say, so on Arafah,
Mm.
we're there till Maghrib. Do we pray Maghrib and Isha at Arafah?
Muzdalifah.
It's in Muzdalifah.
Muzdalifah, yep. So you wait to get to Muzdalifah, so you could follow the Sunnah and pray Maghrib and Isha combined, and then you sleep. Now, there's a concession given by the Prophet ﷺ during this time, elderly and the sick could leave after midnight, right? So then Salama, which is the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, she was neither elderly nor sick, but she asked the Prophet, "Can I go too?" She was a bit heavy set, so he allowed her to do that. Okay, and so from this came anybody really, the sisters who have difficulty, moving about with the crowd, and anybody in charge of those sisters, like a mahram, or even the guides themselves, if they're guiding these elderly sick people, these people, this category of people, have the concession to leave at midnight. So that way they beat the crowd. And when they leave at midnight, it's expected that they go do the Jamarat. Some people think that, oh, okay, if I left, I have to wait for the Jamarat time, which is, we're going to explain, is going to be the after Fajr, the next day, right? Or after Zawal, or the Zenith area, that's when we go. But for them, they're allowed to do it early because they've left early. The whole point was to beat the crowd. So they are allowed to do that as well. Okay. In Muzdalifah, you may want to collect the pebbles. The pebbles that you're going to need are 7 the first day, and we're going to talk about what that day is, 21, and then another 21. Okay. You could collect the rocks from here. This doesn't make a difference. It just makes more sense that right before you go, you pick up your rocks and you go. And what's one of the gifts they're going to give you, like a rock holder, a pouch? Sometimes, do they give you us rocks? They give us rocks last time, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah, sometimes they'll give you rocks, but just be prepared to take them from Muzdalifah, okay? And don't go for things that are not rocks, like brick or clay. No, try to pick a rock or a pebble, I should say.
Sorry, so the Maghrib that we pray in Muzdalifah is going to be a Qaza prayer.
Yes, because let's say it depends what time you get there. Let's say you get there at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. It's not late because you're combining with Isha. So you're in, like, just like when you pray Asr at Zuhr time, it's not like it's allowed because you're in a state of travel. It may be different with the Hanafi fiqh, if that's what you're asking. Hanafis usually do not combine their prayers, right? Is that what you're asking?
Correct.
Yeah, but in this case, we're doing it the Hanbali fiqh, or in Saudi. But if does anybody know anything about Hanafi fiqh with regards to combining the prayers?
When it comes to
Combining the Maghrib, he's concerned that it'll be qada prayer, like it'll be a late prayer. You may want to ask your guide. Yes, yes. But it is, this is how the Prophet ﷺ did it, combine Maghrib and Isha. Okay.
they provide the pouch, but you have to collect them. That's what I just.
Oh, you have to collect. Okay, so they provide the pouch. You just put the rocks inside them, inshallah. So for those of you who don't have the concession, you pray Fajr and do dhikr, then proceed to Mina just before sunrise. You're going back to your Mina tent, okay? There may be some buses leaving. There should be, but sometimes you don't find a bus. Be prepared to walk back to Mina, right? So important is a logistical thing. Have internet on your phone. Maybe call your carrier and somehow coordinate where you get internet. You purchase it. It's worth it, believe me. Because you can use the GPS. You can pin the location where you are at the tent, and that way you can find your way back and forth. Okay. Okay. So step number 6 is the day of Eid, the Hajj, Yom al-Nahr, the day of sacrifice. Do the following in order if you can. You go from Arafat to Mina. You're maybe dropping off your bag, but you're actually going to the Jamarat. And you're going for the big one, Jamarat al-Kubra, al-Aqaba, right? You throw 7 pebbles at the large pillar. Then you have your sacrifice already coordinated to be done. Some people actually go just so they could witness the sacrifice. There's a place where you go, but usually it's like the young, zealous guys. They were like, "I'll walk 15,000 steps. I don't care." But for the rest of us, just do it through the adahi.org or whatever coordination your guide has for you, and you can assume that it's done. Okay. Then you shave or trim just like you did in your Umrah. And now you partially exit from Ihram. Partially meaning you can do everything. You can wear your clothes, you can take a shower, you can wear perfume. The only thing you can't do is have a relation with your wife, which you probably are not going to do anyway. But that's the only thing that's not allowing you to exit full ihram. And the final thing in order to exit full ihram is tawaf al-ifada. Tawaf al-ifada, yes, tawaf al-ifada right here. Okay, now, Tawaf al-Ifada is very hard to do on that day because traffic is at a standstill. It's the day of Eid. Think about it. Eid, it's everybody, the whole city is celebrating Eid. Plus, everybody's trying to get to Mecca, the Kaaba area. So you have a very difficult time navigating. So what the scholars say is you don't have to do it the first day. You can still be in your partial ihram until the next day where it's cooled down a little bit. Then on the 11th day, you can go make your dua. I've done that plenty of times. The first year I did it straight through. I said, I'm young. I don't have no responsibility. I wasn't a guide at the time. So I went through the Kaaba with a lot of walking, a lot of hardship. One thing you want to also add to your logistical packet is petroleum jelly, right? Because you get the chafing from the thighs from walking. It's very uncomfortable. It could even be a health risk because your skin can start peeling, right? So petroleum jelly in the thighs as you're walking. And by the way, transportation is almost impossible that day. So for concession reasons, just stay put, go to Mina after you do Jumrah. Huh?
I love what you said because you saw so many brothers get fooled by people who say, "Oh, I'll take you and I'll put you as close as possible to haram," and they ended up being scammed.
Yeah, they overpaid and it wasn't even that close. They'll say, "Oh, I'll take you kind of near where you have to be," but when you find out it's actually a long distance still left, and you end up paying a lot of money for a short distance. So, your guys should have some alternatives for you, Shama. Yes.
Quick question, Sheikh.
Yeah.
During when you are in the state of Ikram,
Mhm.
what kind of backpack or any
You can carry anything because those are external things. They're not attached to your body. So you could wear a watch, you can wear glasses, you can have a book bag, not a problem. Yeah, and they're not like so as close to yourself. So then you do tawaf al-ifada either the day of or the next day. But remember, you cannot exit full ihram until the tawaf al-ifada is completed. Okay.
It should be done on 10th of Dhul Hijjah before Maghrib. Is there?
Well, yes, because the reason why is because you have to be back in Mina, right? Because part of the now process after the 10th day is you stay in Mina for part of the night. So if you are going into, like, I've seen people do like 1 a.m. come back. As long as you can come back at part of the night, you can do it. But if you can't, then just wait for the next day after you do the Jamaat. Then you go to Mecca to do your tawaf. And we'll explain that on the 11th day. But for the 10th day, you pick what you want to do. If you want to go for all four, go ahead. More power to you. If you could only do 3 out of the 4, then that's, you still could come out, you could take a shower. Some people, what they do is they'll go to their hotels, which is in the Azizia area, right? Depending on your package. The Azizia and the Jamarat are very close. So you can go to Azizia, take a shower, maybe even rest a little, and then come back to Mina sometime in the night. Some people say Maghrib time. Some people say as long as you do this, what we call part of the night in Mina. Okay, so preferably at Maghrib. Okay. Now the next day, which is the 11th day, 12th and 13th for some people, because you have concession from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala that you can leave after the 12th day. But if you wanted to do full Hajj like the Prophet ﷺ did it, you stay till the 13th day. And this is the Ayyam al-Tashriq, referred to as Ayyam al-Tashriq. Each day there is 7 stones at each of the 3 Jamaat. After stoning, spend time in Dhikr, Quran, and rest. Stay in Mina at least to the 12th. And after every stoning, so you go, alhamdulillah, they've organized it. There's floors, and there is the small one, the big middle one, and the big one. You do it in that order. After you throw 7 in the small one, you'll go face the Kaaba and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you'll proceed to the middle one. You'll throw the 7 stones, and then you'll go face the Kaaba and make dua. After you throw the big one, the last final one, you throw the stone and you'll keep it moving. There's no dua there. Just keep moving back to your tent in Mina. Okay. And you stay in Mina until at least the 12th, as I said. ومن تعجل, what's the ayah, Shaykhna? What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? سورة البقرة.
4 أيام معدودات ومن تعجل في يومين فلا إثم عليه ومن تأخر فلا إثم عليه.
ومن تعجل في يومين فلا إثم عليه. Whoever leaves after 2 days, there's no sin on him. ومن تأخر فلا إثم عليه لمن اتقى. And whoever stays for the 13th day, it's not a problem also for whoever has taqwa. Meaning, of course, the more the better, but there is no blame, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you leave after the 12. And the reason I'm saying this is because your group leader may say, we're all leaving on the 12th. So you don't be overly worried, oh my God, my Hajj is not complete. No, it's valid. It's good. No sin on you, no decrease of reward. Okay. Final step is the tawaf al-wada, as we said before leaving Mecca. You want to perform 7 circuits again, tawaf of the Kaaba, and no sa'i or shaving needed for the final tawaf. Okay, so we do a summary checklist here. So arrival at the miqat, right? Intend Umrah, wear ihram, begin talbiyah. Mecca, you do tawaf and sa'i plus hair cutting, you exit the ihram. 8th of Dhul Hijjah. Sorry, let me go here. Where's 8th of Dhul Hijjah here?
It's at the end of the year, Tawaf and Sa'i that we do.
Okay, right there. So 8th of Dhul Hijjah, enter ihram again, go to Mina. 9th of Dhul Hijjah, Arafah day, wuquf, Muzdalifah at night. 10th of Dhul Hijjah, Rami, sacrifice, shaving, plus tawaf al-ifada, plus sa'i. 11th, 13th, daily Rami, which is the 3 Jamaat, and final exit tawaf al-wada' before leaving Mecca. And then here, there's some final advice from Ibn Qudama. He says, let your heart be present in every act. Let your Hajj be a journey of returning to Allah, not just a tour of the rituals. There was a famous story, an older lady in the older days. She was part of a Hajj group, and she couldn't see very much. So she relied on some of those who were with her to kind of guide her along the way. So every time they stop, they say, have we reached the house of my Lord? And they would say, no, not yet, not yet. So she would keep asking, like, when kids would say, have we gotten there yet? That whole thing. So she would periodically ask for that. Have we reached the house of my Lord? Have we reached the house of my Lord? And they said, not yet, until finally when they actually did reach the Kaaba, yes, we have now reached the house of your Lord. She started to cry and make dua, and little after that, she passed away. So this was her, along the journey, she was thinking about it, working herself up to actually feel that moment. So sometimes we get a little too much technical and we forget the spiritual aspect. So very important, inshallah, to remember the whole time making zikr, enjoy the process. All of it is an expiation for you. And so if it's a Hajj Mabrur, which is what we're all going for, an accepted Hajj, it'll be the day your mother gave birth to you. Free of sin. You're straight with Allah, completely clean. You come back newborn, right? So inshallah, that is all of our goal to in that.
Sure.
We'd like to take questions, inshallah, during this time.
Question.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
You are Imam Sheikh Faisal, with your experiences. One is that how can we save ourselves from distracting from anything else in these days? And number 2 is that everybody, probably other brothers and sisters are doing Hajj as well, but what makes us to get more rewards other than the Hajj? These are the 2 questions.
In Hajj,
During the Hajj and during those 5-6 days, other than performing the Hajj rituals, what is the additional acts we can do so that we get more reward?
more rewards. Okay, inshallah. Of course, the most beloved things to Allah, generally speaking, are those He made obligatory. So doing this, knowing that's the most beloved thing to Allah, because He made it obligatory. And then He loves that you do extra on top of that, like extra sunnah. So fasting is not recommended in Hajj. So somebody may say, oh, let me fast too. No, that's not recommended, because the reason is you're going to need your energy for what Allah made obligatory, right? The walking, it's a lot of walking. What I would suggest is, because the best worship you're going for is quality worship. Think of when you're at your best, how much you can provide when you're healthy and you're focused. You've got enough sleep. You got enough rest. You're hydrated. Now you can give more. If your cup is not full, you can't give anything, right? If you're sick and tired, so that's why you take care of these things. You make sure you get enough sleep. You sleep after Isha. You try to perform as much sunnah as you can from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Dua prayer, for example, if you would like, you can do that. Charity is a big thing there. Every day, set yourself an amount you're going to give in charity for the people who are in need, right? Because this is a beautiful thing. You enter through the charity, right? That's when the doors of Allah may open for you in dua. But the presence of the heart requires practice. That's why they say prepare from now. People used to prepare like years. I'm going Hajj in 2 years. And they would just pay off all their debts, settle all their disputes before going. Don't forget the famous hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in Ramadan, right before Ramadan, Sha'ban. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepares you by forgiving you so you can benefit from Ramadan. But He doesn't forgive two who have a animosity towards each other and one who has shirk, right? Those are the two categories of people. So imagine Hajj, which is a greater thing, right? Going to Hajj and you have disputes with someone. That's why they say settle all your disputes, make amends, call family members if that's blocking you from receiving the reward of Hajj. You don't want to spend all this money, make all this effort, and at the end, Allah may not accept. Right? Of course, we think good of Allah all the time. Allah is a shakur. Shakur meaning you do a little for Him, and He's very thankful for what you've done. And He'll give you much more than what you've put in for Him, because that's His nature. He's a shakur. However, Allah must accept, and there's no guarantee. So we always humbly ask even after the act. That's why I say when you do any action for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, check your intention 3 times. First is before you go, is this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or is this so I can be called Haji? One, right before. Then you check your intention while doing the Hajj. As you're doing the Hajj, you don't start becoming arrogant and saying to yourself, look, I made it to Hajj, and you start patting yourself in the back and start having this arrogance that, of course, I'm putting all this effort in. And I'll tell you a story what happened. We were in Hajj one year, and we're in the hotels, and it might not have been a great hotel. It was good for most people's standards. More than 97% of the world would have enjoyed this hotel. But we're Americans, we need top tier. And so it was definitely nothing we arranged as guides. This is the government, the packages, the way they come. You pick this set with this set. So anyway, we're at the breakfast hall, and I guess the food wasn't as good as they wanted it to be. The guy's complaining about the food. What kind of food is this? I paid this much money for this. And it's like, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's ruining his Hajj. He can get good food anytime he wants. Don't let the food or the hotel or the buses ruin your Hajj. People in the olden days would come with no hotels. And there's people there you'll see. That year that I went was, I think 2 years ago. I remember there was a huge, it must have been a heat stroke or something. People died in front of the hotels because they couldn't get in. They get AC or water. These people from third world countries. So when you look at this, and how's Allah supposed to view you? Your Hajj, like you think that this is something automatic, like automatic acceptance. No, Allah accepts from those who have taqwa, and taqwa is a state of the heart that you should have during, and then the final time to check your niyyah is after. When you come back, you make dua that Allah accepts. When Ibrahim alayhi salam built the Kaaba itself, the one who built the Kaaba with his son Ismail, he would beg Allah, رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Allah, please accept this from us. Indeed, you are Sami al-Alim. وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ. And accept our repentance. They're making tawbah because maybe they didn't make it as good as Allah deserves it to be, right? And so they always have this state of mind where you're in constant um, chase of Allah's pleasure, and you don't take it for granted, and you don't just get comfortable thinking, "No, I made Hajj now, I'm good now." No, the Sahaba weren't like this. Even those promised Jannah, Asham Washurun, those who were promised Jannah while they were still alive, they did more after they were promised than before, right? Because they were very grateful for that, but they knew it's not over. Shaitan may take it any time. Right before the death, it could happen. So they asked Allah constantly to accept from them until they return back to Him. Inshallah. Sister in the back?
On the days of Tashriq, what's the time for the Jamaat?
Okay, so the Jamaat is usually after Zuhr prayer. But the issue sometimes is the government will shut down those times because it's very hot. I remember one year they shut down the Asr prayer. So people tried to squeeze out, I have to do it during Zoro, brother. Listen, if the government is saying to you, it's a heat stroke advisory, stay indoors until the sun goes, you're perfectly okay. Just follow the rules. You don't have to go, the Prophet ﷺ was like that. Some people came to the Prophet ﷺ, they said, oh, Messenger of Allah, I messed up. I did this before this. He said, La haraj. Don't it's okay. Another person came with another scenario. He said, no, I did this before this. He said, it's okay. The Prophet is saying, as long as you cover the basics, you're okay. Don't worry about it. Don't get the spiritual OCD that most people have. Just remember, if you follow generally what I've just mentioned, and then the hypotheticals, ask your guides, because we don't want to manifest that into, being. If something happens out of the normal plan, ask your guide for what to do. It should be okay. So,
This might fall into the same category, but just in regards to the heady, if we're booking the heady here in the US like
Yeah.
now,
mhm.
we don't have to like coordinate it there, right? Like there's no, we don't have to wait for like a message saying, okay, your heady is now.
There is a message that will come, like if you do the adahi.org,
Yeah,
you'll get a confirmation.
Okay.
You'll get like as soon as, oh, your head has just been sacrificed.
so do I wait for that before doing like the jamarat or do I?
No, you can go ahead and do the Jamarat, but I would wait for that to come out of Ihram,
I got you.
to come out of the full Ihram.
Yes.
Because just in case something happens, sometimes they do on the second day. I've seen it. Have you seen it done the second day
Yeah,
too?
sometimes they will send a message, but you
Yeah.
have to log in and see if your number was
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. I had to log in. It was done for good.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may not get that message, but you just.
So,
I was gonna say, I want to
Yeah.
mention one other thing. Just, going back to just being patient the whole entire
Yeah.
time. There's gonna be one or two people in the group, no matter what, that are gonna, be upset and someone's gonna annoy you. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen
Yeah.
no matter what. So just be prepared, just expect it. Inshallah, never, but just expect it. So you are patient in that moment, because all it takes is that moment, and your Hajj is, it's at risk.
yeah.
And Sheikh, how we make sure that your house stays pure and clean all
Mm.
the time?
Mhm.
Public bathrooms, things are.
You can bring a few pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I brought like 2 or 3 pairs. Because during the minute time, it gets dirty and stuff, but if that's the only pair you have, that's okay. You can wash it with water, and you may want to bring non-fragrant soap to wash your hands, even if you after using bathroom and so forth.
I was gonna say like that, you can't use scent, right? So be careful in the hotels. You're always used to washing your hands. right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're washing your hands in the hotel.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
alhamdulillah, I think a lot of hotels have unscented soap.
Yes,
That's what I smelled.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
unscented.
yeah.
So
And the intention for that is the perfume, right? That's the major part.
Yeah.
So if unintentionally, oh my God, that was scented soap, it's okay. The scholars have a lot to just keep it going. It's not big, because everything has a scent if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
The doctors here, you could tell me all the chemicals.
like some creams.
Yeah, creams. Yeah. So you can avoid everything.
Using the hand sanitizers, because usually they have all over the place, like sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think are they scented, hand sanitizer?
Some of them.
Some, okay.
Most of them are also Oxford.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not perfect. Yeah, you may, I know I did, I ordered on Amazon, there's a bunch of products, non-scented products you can get.
Also, is it okay to use the sunblock, like unscented, of course,
Yeah, if it's unscented, yeah, that's okay, yeah.
not get the sun?
Mm-hmm. Lotion, yeah, that's fine. And anything medically, obviously, like if somebody has a foot problem, they can wear a shoe, because that's a medical necessity for them. So there are all sort of concessions given to people who are in need. Okay. Jazakumullah khair. Is there anybody?
Can we keep this?
Yeah, I'll.
Yeah, I
can send it
sent
to
it on the Jmic group, and if you didn't receive it, let me know.
Jazakumullah khair. May Allah accept your Hajj. And if I will see you, inshallah, don't forget to make dua for us, for the leader, for the Shaykh.